little place around the corner from fear. Be there by next year. Where I'm going, where I'll be. Just a little further and I'll be right there. And then they'll all see.
Alright guys, what's going on? I'm Tim Kelly along with Justin Gotze for the first sports video of 2013 on The Real Sports Talk, and that is rumors that former Eagles head coach, you guys know I'm an Eagles fan, former Eagles, longtime Eagles head coach Andy Reid is close to landing a job in Arizona where Ken Wisenhunt was fired yesterday. Andy Reid, it seems to make all the sense. Andy Reid had a good run in Philly. It was certainly time to move on here for both sides, but I think that this is a signing for the Arizona Cardinals that would make sense. Here's a coach that did a very good job in turning the Eagles franchise around. I don't think he's going to win the Cardinals a Super Bowl, and I don't think he's going to do in Arizona what he did in Philadelphia, but as far as turning that team around, I think that there is a very good chance that he could potentially do that. So for them, it's not only a sign that's good for that, but he's a big-name coach, so it would help to keep some guys like Darnell Dockett, guys like that we've heard are not necessarily happy in Arizona. It would help to keep them happy. Justin, what do you think?
I think this was a good move for the Arizona Cardinals because, like you said, you covered it pretty well, saying that he's a great veteran coach, knows what's going down. And the only question right now is the quarterback situation. Now, back in Philadelphia, the Arizona Cardinals had, well, in Philadelphia, Kevin Kolb was a part of the Eagles at one point, and then they traded him away for Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. Now, Andy Reid is going to come back and going to work with Kevin Kolb. I think it's going to work out very good for them. But you know what? It was just a very disappointing season for the Cardinals, who went through 4 quarterbacks: Brian Hoyer, Ryan Lindley, John Skelton, and as well as, Kevin Kolb. I mean, this team just did not connect the dots after starting 4-0. But you know what? I can see head coach Andy Reid coming in here and being a really effective coach for this team, who right now their defensive side of the ball is not too happy with, like Darnell Dockett, who says he's happy to be a Cardinal, but you know what? He's kind of in a PO type of way right now. So you know what? I think it's just bringing in Andy Reid could actually help affect this defensive as well.
Yeah, and look, I think everyone is going to find that the national media like to say that Andy Reid was a superstar elite coach. He's not that. He is a good coach, a very good coach at times. He's not in the league of Mike Tomlin and Mike McCarthy and Bill Belichick. He's not that. If you watch what he does, though, he's actually a good fit because the Cardinals are not a team that has run the ball a lot the last few years. Beanie Wells has had problems staying healthy and being consistent, so he doesn't really need to run the ball there, or he won't be held to the expectation of running the ball. Then he has Kevin Kolb at quarterback, and in Philadelphia, I don't know why he moved on from Kevin Kolb. I was never in favor of that move, although I think it worked out probably for the better. I was never in favor of him moving on from Kevin Kolb. In Arizona, they're a way more relaxed fan base, less involved with the team. They're not going to hold their team to a championship standard like is done here in Philadelphia. So Andy Reid has more time to work with Kevin Kolb. That being said, the Cardinals were a really bad team the second half, or really the last 3 quarters of this season, and if things don't work out with Kevin Kolb in 1 year, we'll see what happens. I don't think it's a lock that Kevin Kolb is the starter for this team next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in competition, whether that's through the draft or through free agency, but in the end, Kevin Kolb, Andy Reid, it should be interesting. They're not going to bring Michael Vick in to replace Kevin Kolb, if anyone was wondering that.
Now, you mentioned the NFL draft. Now, I like the NFL draft, the quarterback class also from this year. When you look at the draft, you got Tyler Wilson, you got, Matt Barkley and Geno Smith. I can really see this team, getting that quarterback role and getting into some competition from the NFL draft. And now, going into the later rounds, you can start looking at the offensive line. What kind of options you have for this offensive line? Because this offensive line sacked Kevin Kolb in 4 weeks, 18 or 19 times.
It was a lot.
And that was just atrocious. I mean, that's awful. And you know what? They really need, veteran guys on this offensive lineman. So you got to go into the draft, go into this. They also got to attack free agency as well. But, it's good to bring in some younger guys in the draft and build your options up and start building your offensive line to be a really, solid, elite offensive line.
We'll see what happens. I think this should be a very interesting situation. Andy Reid, as many people predicted, did not take long to find a new job. He appears like he's very close to becoming the next head coach for the Arizona Cardinals. Nothing is finalized yet, but it appears like it's just they're crossing the T's, dotting the I's, just figuring out some last-second things. Anything can fall through, but I don't think it will.
Yeah, I mean, Andy Reid, it seems pretty set in stone that he's going to be the next head coach in Arizona. I mean, it's all over the news here. I was flipping through the channels, all of a sudden you're hearing the news of Andy Reid coming to Arizona. All you got to do is just give it a couple, like maybe until tomorrow we'll finally get the final, ink on the paper for the official contract, and then you can start building up the Arizona Cardinals to try and potentially get them back on a winning phase here.
We'll see what happens. It isn't that long ago that they were in the Super Bowl. They have a beautiful stadium. They have one of the guys who is the face of the NFL, and Larry Fitzgerald, and he's not declining. It was just the fact that he didn't have a quarterback to throw him the ball for most of the season. So we'll see either Kevin Kolb or whether they go out and find an external option or both. It should be interesting. Andy Reid close to becoming the next Arizona Cardinals coach. See you guys later.
Just a little ways around the corner from fear. Be there.